What's up, guys? I hope that you are having a glorious day. Today, me and young Joseph are going to talk about gratitude. And we're going to talk about gratitude because gratitude is the most powerful thing that we have in our arsenal that's going to raise our energy levels and give us the motivation to continue moving forward in life. When someone doesn't have gratitude and they don't appreciate the things that they have, everything is bleak. And if everything is bleak, then you're depressed. And if you're depressed, then you lack motivation.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me. I'm actually excited that we're doing this because I don't think I've ever heard anyone talk about gratitude in depth until I met you.
I don't think they understand it. There's a lot of people saying, fill out your gratitude journal, gratitude, but unless you're someone that has really experienced both ends of it, you can't explain it. So for the majority of my life, I did not understand the benefits of having gratitude. Everyone talked about it and it just went right over my head. It did not make sense to me. And then when I went through the worst spell of depression that I've ever experienced a couple years ago, it clicked finally. And whenever it clicked, it was life-changing for me.
Yeah.
But this is the best way to describe it. When I was in that hole of just despair and suffering and darkness, I wanted anything to get out of it.
Yeah.
I would have done anything to crawl out of that hole and to see the sun again. And when I did finally see the sun, it was absolutely amazing. And I was so grateful to no longer be depressed. And that is whenever I experienced gratitude for the first time.
Okay, so did gratitude help you get out of that?
No.
I was saying, because I thought you were going to say gratitude helped you get out of that.
No,
but you experienced it afterwards.
Everyone told me,
okay,
gratitude. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck that means. Yeah. I have no idea what that means. Okay, write down gratitude. Okay, well, that doesn't fucking do anything. Unless you feel it, unless you can really harness it and feel it in your heart and in the rest of your body and truly appreciate what you have, it doesn't do anything. You're just repeating shit. You're just doing the same shit that everyone's saying to do. Write it down. Okay, well, you can fucking write something down all day and it doesn't make it true.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it a reality. You have to feel gratitude. And whenever you feel gratitude and you appreciate the things that you have, you can feel your energy levels rising. And that's because you're no longer feeling depressed or down or anything of the sort. Maybe you're not even depressed. Maybe you're just kind of whatever, what the fuck. But when you really sit there, say in meditation or whatever, you're on a walk and you just look around and you really start taking in just how amazing life is, you have no other option than to be filled with power. I experienced it this morning, man. I woke up and I wasn't in a bad mood. Well, I was just kind of whatever. And I walked outside for my morning walk. And I woke up a little bit later today and I saw the sun coming up. And the sky was beautiful, man. Purple, orange, all the colors. And I looked at it and this huge smile got on my face. And that was gratitude. I was grateful to be able to see the sunrise. And that's the thing, is you can find gratitude in every little thing. And it's not something that we necessarily have in our society anymore, because our society is designed to want more. I need more. Nothing's ever good enough. I need more. You should always desire to have something more because that's how you improve your quality of life. But at the same time, that is very toxic. The way for it to not be toxic is to appreciate what you have, but desire to have more at the same time. I'm okay with what I have. That's great. But could it be better? Yeah, of course.
Right.
But I don't need it to be better for my happiness to exist.
Yeah. I experienced something like this the other day. You know, I have a 4-year-old at home, little girl, and, you know, wife, and there's not a day goes by that I don't think about how I can be a better father to her. I mean, just straight up, like that's it. From the moment I wake up in the morning and I see her, she's still sleeping, like I'm smiling, I'm thankful for it and stuff like that. But I do remember walking the other day and me and her were walking down like a sidewalk and she has like this like princess dress on, like high heels, and we're like walking like in public and she's just confident, just living her life. And I remember like looking at her and just like having this, you know, this moment of gratitude, man. Like, holy crap. Like I think about being a father and being the best father that I can be for her every single day. But in this moment, I'm really embracing, I have the most amazing gift in the world, a little girl. You know what I mean? And it's like, it was in that moment, like I'm emotional. I get teary-eyed, but I have this big smile on my face. And she's just, I mean, there's nothing like it, man.
You know the only way you were able to harness that though, right? Being present.
Yeah.
And that's an issue with society nowadays. No one is present.
Mm-hmm.
We no longer know how to be present and bored and just being able to look at what is around us. Our mind's always racing, and it's usually racing about shit that we don't have that we want because our neighbor has it or we saw it online or whatever it is. But when you're present, that is the only time that you can really harness gratitude and you can feel it.
Mm-hmm. I think that's exactly why I experienced that, because usually when I wake up in the morning, I see her and stuff like that, I'm thinking about still, I've got my planner that I filled out the night before. I've got, all right, I woke up, saw my daughter, did all this other stuff, but like I'm knocking my stuff out now. Like I'm kind of forward thinking throughout the day, right? So like, I got to knock my stuff out. I need to do this, and it's all good things. But then it's in those moments where I really step back, and I've got my top 5 knocked out of the day. I'm already home from Norse that day, and we're walking the dog, and there's nothing else going on. I've already checked DMs, I've done everything, and the only thing I have left to do that day is just be a dad. And it's in those moments I'm like, oh man, like this is what, to me, like this is what life is.
That is what life is, man. That's what life is supposed to be about.
Yeah.
Life isn't supposed to be about buying the next best thing or trying to outdo your competition or anything like that. Life is supposed to be about just appreciating what you have. The fact that you have a roof over your head, you have a car that runs and it can get you from point A to point B, is being able to put food on your table for your family. It's being able to walk outside and see an amazing sunrise or a sunset.
Yeah.
It's being able to breathe.
Man, that's the only way I've been able to get through stuff in my life. Like, we haven't talked about it, but my wife, and she's more like me now, but about 6 months ago 6 to 8 months ago is when it really started hitting. There was some stuff that happened in her life. I don't even remember what it was. I just remember she was like, you only see the good in things. And I think it was like, maybe when our house got broken into, like our computers got stolen. It's like, oh man, at least they didn't go upstairs and like, take pictures or something, or, at least like they didn't break the window. And she was just like, how are you looking at it like that? Cause I'm like, I'm thankful for that. But it's, I think it's what my dad did. And I'm just like an optimistic person anyway. It's like, whatever happened in life, like this sucks, but it could be worse.
It could always be worse, but we don't think like that. Most people don't think like that. And because of that, they feel like they're lacking something. You're not lacking anything. You have everything you fucking need inside of you. You're alive. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
If you're going to be grateful for anything, be grateful for the fact that you're breathing. Everything else is just bonuses. That's the best way to look at it. Everything else is just a fucking bonus, man.
Dude, that's me and you talked about it before I came on the Norse. Like, I was very close in my life, and I still might one day, to just doing like the van life thing, right? Because I knew like the only thing I need in life is just what I have, like, is what I currently have, my family. I don't need my house. I'll sell my house and I'll live in a van, like on the side of a road for the rest of my life with just me and my daughter and my wife. And I am content, man. I am content because like I have what I need. But the only way for me to be content in that is to sit down and really think about, holy crap, I have this. Like, this is my family. I have everything I need.
Yeah.
Like, my computers get stolen. My house could burn down. That stuff sucks. There's nothing worse. But man, like, I'm like, the stuff that I'm truly thankful for is here in my life right now. And because of that, nothing can like take me off from that. You know what I mean?
So this is something to think about. Everything that you're truly thankful for are not things that you bought.
No.
So let's think about it like that.
Yeah.
People usually, when they think of gratitude, that's the first place their mind goes. Oh, I'm grateful for my car. I'm grateful for my house. I'm grateful for these other materialistic things, which is fine. Having a nice house, having a nice car, why not? It's there. It's within reach. Get it. It makes life a little bit easier. Cool. But if you really want to feel grateful for life and to be in just an amazing mood and be full of power to dominate life, you need to appreciate the things that you didn't buy. You just need to appreciate the things that you have naturally.
Yeah. And if you are going to be thankful for the stuff you buy, you have to peel off the layers for that, man. Like, cool, I'm thankful for a house. A lot of people have a house. I'm thankful for the opportunity that allowed me to get the house. I'm thankful for the drive that from my wife, who I didn't purchase a wife. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thankful for that she motivated me to get here. I'm thankful for health. I can't buy health. I can purchase things like a gym membership or supplement, whatever that can help me have better health. But like, at the end of the day, like, I didn't buy health, right?
If it wasn't for, say, having good health, having knowledge, having your family, all of these other things, your materialistic items would be non-existent.
Yeah,
you wouldn't
dude.
have been able to obtain them.
Exactly.
So you're 100% right. You need to peel back the layers. When you start looking at these things that you bought and you're grateful for, well, there's a million things underneath that you can also be grateful for. And like I said, I'm not bashing buying stuff.
No.
I have a nice house. I have a nice truck.
We talk all the time about like things we want to purchase in life.
Right.
Like, it's
as
fine.
you should. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with
No.
it. But like I said, there's a difference. When all you can do is desire something and you don't take the time to appreciate what you already have, that's where depression comes from. That's where envy comes from. That's where these lower energy levels are stemmed from.
And that's the dangerous part of that, because if you don't peel back those layers and be thankful for these moments, you're trying to buy these things to bring happiness to you.
That's the issue right
and
there.
that's not going to happen.
Right. You never need to make a purchase decision based off how you feel at that moment. You buy something because you need it or it's going to improve your quality of life, not because it's going to make you happy, because you don't need anything else to be happy. That is an internal decision. And I know that's a weird concept for people to understand, especially if you're someone that deals with depression. Because I had people telling me that shit in my past, and I wanted to knock them the fuck out because I was so depressed. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean it's just a decision? Like, you think I want to be depressed? Here's the thing. I didn't necessarily want to be depressed, but I had a habit of being depressed. And that's not something I don't think I've ever talked about on this podcast, but you can develop a habit of being depressed. You can develop a habit of being optimistic and positive. Those are just habits, guys. That's all that is.
Yeah.
So whenever you spend the majority of your life just being fucking negative and depressed and desiring things that you don't have instead of appreciating what you do have, you're now developing a habit to be that way. And after you do that for 20 to 30 years, that is part of your identity. And in order to change that, you need to completely change who you are. And that is extremely difficult to do. It is possible.
Mm-hmm.
I've done it. It's very possible, but it takes a lot of fucking work. Now, whatever tools you use to get there, that's up to you. For myself, I did a lot of meditation. I did a lot of reading. I spent almost a full year out in the woods. Like any chance I got, I was just in solitude. And that's what allowed me to do it. But I remember telling my dad this whenever I was really just in a bad place. And my old man, like he didn't understand what I was going through because he's not really someone that has ever suffered with depression. Pretty strong dude in regards to that. But he was there for me. He called me every day to check in on me. And he even said, like, when I'm just like, I'm losing my fucking shit. Like, I remember being in his house once, full on fucking tears, like, can barely breathe. And I didn't fucking know why. I was losing my goddamn mind. And it scared the shit out of him. You could see it on his face. He didn't know what to do because it's not something that he's ever experienced. And fuck, I didn't know how to control it.
Yeah.
But he was helping, but he wanted to help me with it. But I told him at that time, I was like, I need to reprogram my shit. And even telling him that, he didn't understand what I was saying. But I knew that's what I needed to do. I don't know why I said that. Just internally, I knew, I was like, I can change this. I can change the way that my mind works. And that's what I did. I would sit there for hours and just meditate on what I had that I was grateful for, like my daughter being alive. I would visualize myself being a happy person and no longer being fucking depressed at the world or hating everybody, because it's the same thing, man. I grew up hating everybody. I hated fuck the world, man. Like everyone. That's not the way to live. That makes everything so much worse. When you look at everything that way, it makes life bleak and dull. And if that is the reality that you've created for yourself, you're not going to have a good life. And that's why I do this podcast. And that's why I talk about this shit, is because I know what it's like to suffer. There are people that suffer more than me. I'm not saying like I had it worse, but if I can say something right now that can snap someone out of it, and they're no longer dealing with the current things that they are, and they can improve their quality of life, and they can really understand how lucky they are to be alive and how beautiful the world is, and even other people. Every person on this planet has characteristics that make them just beautiful people. Now, the reason that they might be fucked up now is because of their upbringing. They probably had shit happen as a kid that turned them into this honestly piece of shit person. But on the core, underneath all that bullshit, you have a human being. And that person is innocent. Like, they are a product of their environment, and unfortunately, they got dealt a wrong hand. But that's something too. Just being appreciative of the people that you surround yourself with, your friends. Be grateful that you have friends, because some people don't. Some people don't have solid people in their lives.
Man, I want to touch on a subject too you just brought up, and I want to make sure we don't skip over it. And you talked about how, like depression, you had made a habit out of that. And I think that's something that we have to do with gratitude, right? It's, the only way to build a habit is through repetition.
Yep.
So when we wake up every morning, and the first thing on our minds is we go through the things we're thankful for. We sit there and we really think about that. That's how we develop those habits of now, instead of this habit of depression or instead of this habit of this. I'm not saying this is easy. Like, it takes a long time for some people, but you go through this repetition and you create a habit of being grateful and sitting down and writing out the things that you're, grateful for and appreciative of. Like, that's huge.
Well, that's why I put gratitude in the new Norse planner.
Yeah.
There's a part of the planner where you write down 4 things that you're grateful for every morning. That's why it's there.
Yeah.
Is because that changed my life. Whenever I was really able to comprehend what gratitude meant and how that made me feel and how I improved my quality of life, I had to put it in this planner.
Yeah.
I had to make sure that people had an easy way when they're writing down their goals, immediately after they write down what they want. And that's why I positioned it like that.
Yeah.
First thing in the morning in the Norse planner, you write down your goals. Well, those are things that you want. What do you do immediately after that? You write down what you're grateful for.
Yeah.
You're anchoring it. And that goes back to what we were talking about a few minutes ago. You can desire to have more, as you should. You should desire to have the best life possible. That includes making a bunch of money. That means buying cool shit. Like, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you need to appreciate what you have. And that's why we have our goals, but then we anchor it with gratitude. Yeah, and that's why it's structured. Grounded. You're grounded. And that's why I structured it like that in the Norse planner.
Yeah.
It wasn't just me like putting shit out on there. Like, this is methods that I have fucking obtained over the years to pull me out of my own bullshit. And I know that it will work for other people.
Yeah.
But yeah, writing down things that you're grateful for. You don't even have to write it down. You can just sit there and feel it. You can just go on a walk in the morning. And like I said, look around. Look at the trees. Look at the sun.
Yeah, I have a habit now that I've created because I live in an apartment now. And sometimes if I get home late at night, I have to park in the back of the parking lot. So I have a little walk in the morning. But, I write that stuff down in the morning, like we talk about, to the new Norse planner. But one thing I've actually done is I also repeat them to myself when I'm walking to my car every single morning. So I walk down the steps and I'm walking through the parking lot. I have like a minute walk or a 2-minute walk. And all I'm doing is breathing in the fresh air and just telling myself, I'm thankful for this. I'm thankful for this. And that's all that's on my mind.
How do you feel afterwards, though?
Oh, amazing, dude. I get in my car.
Do you feel like, dude, it's like drinking 5 cups of coffee?
Oh, dude, absolutely. Like, before I'm like, growing up, I'd get in my car and like, first thing I want to do is turn in like talk radio and forget about what I have to do that day.
You want to distract yourself.
I want to distract myself from whatever I have to do. Now I get in there and I walk through the parking lot now and I'm walking in my car and I'm thinking about, man, I'm grateful for this. And I'm taking deep breaths. I'm thankful and I'm saying these things out. But when I get to my car, I'm usually doing the same thing. I don't want to turn the radio on. I'm actually just repeating the same thing. If I say I'm thankful for my daughter, I'm thankful for health or whatever it is, I'm just constantly repeating that to myself over and over again.
Because it's boosting your energy. It's making you feel good.
And it's real. It's not real. Fake. It's not talk, like cool people that don't talk radio are real people, whatever. They're not me though. Like I'm actually going through real processes, real things in my life that I can be thankful for. And I'm filling my mind with things like that. I'm not filling my mind with what's going on in the world or, man, I have to pay this bill and I don't have money or I have to do this and, my back or whatever. I'm literally going through the things that I'm grateful for. And then when a traffic jam hits and I'm 30 minutes late to something, it doesn't bother me because nothing can bother me in that moment.
You can be grateful for everything. So even with the traffic jam, right? Say you hit a traffic jam. Fuck. Now I'm just sitting here. Great. Now you can focus on your breath.
Yeah.
Now you can sit there and be present and focus on your breath and get your thoughts right. You can visualize what you're going to do moving forward because you're just sitting in your car. Traffic's not moving. Fuck it. Close your eyes. Visualize how the rest of this day is going to go and visualize it in a way that works to your advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm in a traffic jam right now. This sucks. whatever. The rest of this day is going to be fucking glorious because I'm going to make it glorious. You can create that. And that's what I mean by controlling it. When I say controlling your emotions, that's what I'm talking about. It all starts with your self-talk. If you feel yourself being depressed, you start saying to yourself, I'm not going to be fucking depressed. I'm going to knock this shit off and I'm going to make today the best day possible. Now, you might have to fake it till you fucking make it, but either way, you're making a choice to no longer be this way. So many people are depressed or they're pissed off all the time and all these different things, and that is a choice that they make. You decide if you're going to be fucking mad at something instead of just letting it go. When someone cuts you off in traffic, you can either chase them down and fucking hoot and holler and all this other bullshit, or you can just relax and let this shit go. Because guess what happens next time? You continue to let this shit go, and then eventually you're no longer pissed off at this kind of stupid shit. Or when you get into a fight with your spouse about something that doesn't really matter, that you always end up apologizing for anyways because you lost your cool. Guess what you can do instead? You just relax and let it go. And now you're developing a habit of letting silly shit go.
Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is, I know people might rise like, it doesn't work like that. No, it absolutely works like that. It absolutely
works.
And that's the thing. That's what I was talking about. Like, my family used to make fun of me, but now they do the same thing. Like, our house got broken into. And I'm like, again, going back, at least our window didn't get broken. You know, at least I forgot to lock the window, apparently, and somebody came through our window.
When I was growing...
That's a good thing because I don't have to deal with this now. And traffic jam. I wasn't in the wreck.
What the fuck are you going to do?
Nothing, dude.
Nothing.
You have two choices, and we talk about it all the time. You can dwell on it. You can just move on and be thankful.
Just let it go.
Figure out what man, you know what? This traffic sucks. Man, like, I like my shirt today, though. You know, like, it can be, like, that's stupid, but it can be that small. And that little bit of thing where you shift your mindset, dude, that doesn't take much energy.
No.
And now it's going to take time to do that, like, as a habit, right?
What it doesn't necessarily take time and energy, but what it takes is the hardest thing for people, and that's awareness. It takes being aware of your thoughts and your emotions. Instead of just letting them control you, you are aware of it. That is very difficult to do, but the more that you flex that muscle and the more that you work on being aware of what's going on inside of you, the easier it becomes. And the more that you practice it, the easier it is to just let shit go because you realize you're able to detach from it. Okay, I'm pissed off because I'm sitting in a traffic jam. Well, what the fuck is that? What benefits is it going to have for me to be mad? Nothing. Well, you don't come to that conclusion unless you have self-awareness. So awareness is the hardest thing, especially nowadays because we're always distracted. You can't have awareness if you're distracted.
Oh, that's
just a fact.
Great point.
So it doesn't take a lot of time and energy, but it does take awareness, which should be everyone's priority. The more aware that you are of your surroundings and your internal state, the better your life is going to be.
And how do you become self-aware?
It depends on different people, but for myself, I'm going to go back to it. It's breath and meditation.
Yeah.
You become aware by focusing on the breath because that anchors you into the present moment.
Dude, the only way to become self-aware is to create time to be self-aware. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You have to make a conscious choice, though.
You have to create the time to do that.
You have to make that decision. You have to decide that you want a better quality of life. It goes back to me being depressed. I spent 29 years of my fucking life being a miserable piece of shit and just negative about everything, hating everybody until finally I had enough of it. I got tired of my own shit. And that's the only time we make changes in our life is whenever we get tired of our own shit. I was having this conversation with someone the other day. They're bitching to me about not being able to do this, not being able to do this, all things that are within their control. And I looked at them and I smiled. I said, yeah, eventually you're just going to get tired of your own shit and decide to make a change. I can talk all I want on this podcast and tell people what I think they should do, and they can hear it and they go, yeah, I should fucking do that. That right there, I should do that. Well, you haven't got tired of your own shit enough yet. Until you really just get fed up with yourself and your negative habits, like being pissed off and depressed and all these other things, and you want a better quality of life for yourself, which you should, you're not going to have any self-awareness. Like you have to make a conscious effort to want a better quality of life that is full of happiness and love.
Yeah. And the statement, I should do that, is completely different than I'm going to do that.
Well, that's a first step right there.
Yeah.
When you catch yourself saying should or can't. My kid the other day, we were in here actually. We were in the gym. I don't know if you were here or not, but Jimmy said, I can't do something. And right off the top, without any hesitation, I said, can't's not part of our vocabulary.
Dude, I had the same talk with my daughter, like recently. She said she couldn't do something. I'm like, no, you can. Don't say you can't, because you can literally do anything.
But it goes to adults too.
Yeah.
You can't talk to yourself like that. That's the only time can't is necessary, is when you're like, I can't fucking continue living life like this.
Yeah.
I need to make a difference. But until you really just get tired of your own shit and you want a better quality of life and you want to be happy, you're just going to continue doing it. So let's talk about that real quick. We've talked 25 minutes now about being grateful for everything. Okay, cool. Well, there are certain things in your life that you're not grateful for and you're not going to be. Maybe it's a fucking job that you hate. Maybe you're in a relationship with someone that you really just despise. It's gotten to the point where you hate this other person. What do you do then? You get rid of it.
Yeah. You have to make that decision.
Fuck it. Get rid of it. Yeah. Why stay in that situation? You don't need to. Life is too short to continue doing shit that you hate doing. If you look at something and you're not grateful for it, like when you try to think about your relationship and the thought of being grateful to that other person for having them in your life irritates you, that's your first indicator right there. That means that you need to pull the plug on it.
Yeah.
If you're working a job that you just absolutely despise and you hate your boss and you hate everyone that you work with and you hate that you have to drive, you're sitting there on your way to work, fuck, I hate this goddamn job. You have two choices. You can either learn to appreciate it, and if that's just not possible, then you need to get it out of your life because it's draining you of energy.
Yeah.
There's only two choices there. If you want to be full of life and full of energy and happiness and all these different things, then you maximize gratitude. If you're just not able to do that with certain things, then get those fucking things out of your life because they are not serving you. If something is not serving you, then it shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
But we feel obligated to do that. We feel obligated to stay in the job that we hate. We feel obligated to stay in a relationship with someone that abuses us mentally or physically. We feel obligated to try to compete with our neighbor as far as what car we have. These are all things that we think that we need, that we think that we have to continue suffering through. That is a choice. That is a choice that you are making.
Just because the rest of society decides to do that doesn't mean you have to.
No.
That's the thing. Like the American dream, got to keep up with the Joneses because that's what everybody does. No,
Fuck the Joneses. I don't give a shit what the Joneses are doing.
I don't even know their first name. I don't care to. It doesn't matter.
I actually don't know any of my neighbors' first names.
Yeah, I don't either.
They seem like cool people, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing, man. Like it doesn't matter. Like we talk about it. You are your own unique individual self. You lean into that, man. So think about like, what am I grateful for in life and how can I just capitalize on things? Yeah, I'm writing down my goals. I'm doing these things, but I'm staying grounded. I'm staying true to who I am and I'm not faltering or changing because of something else or because of someone else. I
know there are people listening to this and they just immediately started bitching about what I just said to themselves. Well, it's easy for you to say, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So you're right. It is easy for me to say because I've created a life that I fucking love. It hasn't always been this way though. But I created that life. You can do the same. Now, I know there are certain times when you just have to go with the flow and to suffer and to work the job that you don't want to because you have to support the family. But let me ask you this. Are you looking for another opportunity? Are you actually taking the effort to get out of your current situation or have you just settled for the life that you have? Okay, you're working a job that you hate right now. You have to because you have obligations. I understand that. I have a fucking kid as well. I understand that. But are you applying for other jobs? Are you taking time on your way to work to level up as a human being by listening to an Audible book? Are you waking up early and reading for 20 minutes to improve your value as a person? Because if you improve your value as a person and the more value that you can provide to your employer or a future employer or to the world in general, that's going to present better opportunities for yourself. And if you're not taking the steps to make yourself a more valuable human, then yeah, you're going to be stuck in the same shitty situation. But that's your choice.
I was going to say, the people that listen to this podcast and ask that question, like, it's easy for you to say, well, or must be nice. You're the exact people that we talk about that need to be self-aware.
I don't think really any of our listeners are saying that because the people that listen to this podcast are people that demand more out of life. They want something different for
They're
themselves.
probably people that are trying to actually level up, and which is why they're listening to that podcast.
Which, congratulations, because you're like 1% of the population.
Good job.
Most people do not want to change their current situations. They would rather be the victim and just think about all the bad shit going on in their life instead of being grateful for what they have. Whenever you start being grateful for everything that you have in life, you're no longer playing the victim.
Yeah.
And other people, they fucking hate that. They hate when you're happy. They hate when you're positive. It's like you're saying with your family. They don't understand why you're optimistic. It makes them mad because they can't be that way.
They want to feel it.
Because they want to feel it. And I wish they could, but that's why we're making this episode, because I want everyone.
And that's the thing. They can. Anybody can.
I want everyone listening to this right now to have the best life possible. That is my mission in life. Like if I had to sum it up, I want everyone to live life to its fullest, to work towards reaching their true potential, and to just be happy. Because I know what it's like to be fucking depressed. And I don't want that for anybody. There's not a single person, even people that like I just really can't stand, or people that have screwed me over in the past. I don't want them to be miserable. I want them to have the best life possible. But that all starts with gratitude. And until you really just take the time to appreciate what you have in your life and feel it, that's the most important thing here, guys. You need to feel it in your heart, in your whole body. Let it energize you. Let gratitude energize you to conquer life. And there's all these different ways to do that. Like I said, in the new Norse planner that you can grab on our website, there's a gratitude part. You fill it out every morning after you fill out your goals for the day of what you want to accomplish in the future. You write down your gratitude. But you don't even need to do that. Just think about it. Before you even get out of bed in the morning, before you even open your eyes, just be grateful that you're alive.
Yeah.
And start building off that.
That's the beautiful thing about gratitude. It's one of the few things in life that help us level up, that don't take more energy, that don't require energy, but instead it gives us energy.
It gives us energy, right.
Which is the beautiful thing.
It's a higher energy. It's a higher source of energy.
Yeah.
When you are depressed, you're vibrating at lower energy levels. When you're feeling gratitude and love and courage and all these things, you're vibrating with more energy.
Yeah.
Everything around us is energy. And you choose how much of that you're going to have in your life.
Yeah.
But that's where we're going to wrap up this episode of the Norse Mentality. This podcast is a byproduct of Norse Fitness. You can find us online at norsefitness.co. You can find me on Instagram at Andrew Cliff Lewis. Joe, how can they find you?
On Instagram at the Joe Brown.
Awesome. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll talk to you soon.